Bonjour, and welcome back to the French campaign. It's now 1903, and the 1900 naval expansion program has been going on for a bit. We've built some ships. We are also building some ships. These are being commissioned now, in addition to the 4 Patrouille class battleships that were given a quick refit after finishing. We decided it was also a good idea to build 2 of the Magenta class. They were the runner-up in the design competition. So 6 new battleships being built. The 2 Magentas are commissioning here, over in Asia, in Fort Bayard. The old original Patrouille class, this one having been renamed, are also getting a quick refit. The intention was to actually scrap these and replace them with these 2. However, the situation is such that I think we're going to need every available ship for what is to come. We're at minus 87 with Britain, and it seems to be getting worse. Probably because I've been increasing in tension, but let's not talk about that. Maybe the government wouldn't like it. Britain is also, of course, allied to Russia, who also has a very decent navy. We are friendly with Germany, so there's no immediate threat of, the German army just marching in and taking my stuff. So that's at least nice. Other than that, Italy, kind of friendly. We'll see what happens there. Japan also friendly, but they're more friendly with Britain than with me. Argentina, I guess they could end up on my side. Who else could we maybe have to rely on here? Greece, okay, they're gonna join on Britain's side, I'm pretty sure, but do we really care about that? 1 light cruiser, 1 torpedo boat. They've been pretty broke. Yeah. Let's, since we have some available construction capacity now, let's do a, actually no, they're commissioning. We can't give them a refit right now. So instead, what we're gonna do, we're quite a way away from getting dreadnoughts. Of course, we don't know what a dreadnought is. That's some kind of futuristic concept that we're not familiar with. But I'm pretty sure our enemies have dreadnoughts. Let's see. What have they been building? I know Britain has built a lot of my 1904 designed armored cruisers. So we could expect to run into them. Likewise, the United States has been really mass producing the Little Rock class light cruiser that I made for them, which should be a decent ship. Yeah, I think a lot of these 68 light cruisers are of that share design. I'm not sure about the British battleships. They could be dreadnoughts, they could be pre-dreadnoughts. Could very well be a mix of the 2. Yeah, Ajax class battleship. I'm assuming that that's a dreadnought. I saw them research the dreadnought improvements or something, which I think is the tech you get after this. I also saw them research battlecruisers, but none of them have any battlecruisers in service yet. So maybe we're going to run into them. So what are we to do about enemy dreadnoughts. Well, this is not a dreadnought. Ce n'est pas un dreadnought. Let's see. There we go. Now you might say that Magritte was Belgian, and you may even have evidence of that. But you gotta ask yourself, is that worth a trip to the guillotine? So no, he was French. We can build something that is very much like a dreadnought on this hull, without technically being one. I'm pretty sure, at least, we can build something roughly equivalent of a dreadnought. Let's see. Also, we have steam turbines now. The torpedo boats have already gotten those. And I think it might also be time to finally design a destroyer. Funnel with crane, that's a huge funnel thing. Do we like place this there and then... Okay. It's not the same height as these other funnels. How about those two? Is it then... it's still lower. Can we place a funnel on that one? No. So. We're going with 2 funnels on the main tower. That's the plan. Now, for main armaments... we don't have the Mark II 14s yet, so we're going to go with 13s. Same as our other battleships. Can we do ABXY? Thank you, game. Just delete my tower instead of moving it where I wanted it. There are not a lot of options for barbettes here. That's too small, isn't it? If I place it like sideways, then it works. Amount. Yes, of course. Oh, that does work. Looks a bit silly. I will need to have some of my turrets be slightly offset as side turrets. Well, it looks a bit silly. How about we then place that one there? And then, on the back here, one slightly offset to one side. Another one slightly offset to the other side. And we are balanced. They are technically side turrets. So that works. That gives us 10 13-inch guns. That is more than double the main gun firepower of any other battleship we have. Now, there's not going to be a lot of secondary weaponry on this. But I do feel it looks like a little bit too modern. I feel we're cheesing this a bit too hard. But we're still gonna build a not dreadnought that is basically a dreadnought. We're just not gonna do the you know, the super firing turret thing. What we are gonna do, let's see, turn off auto mirror. There we go. Roughly balanced. Okay. Yeah, that can turn around. There are like weird hull water issues here. There we go. That should probably work. Can we bump this a little bit forwards? Nah, there's like a... You can see that little red line that appears. Like an invisible hull border here. Somewhere. That's fine. I think we have the basic layout now. Just, thank you, game. There. The tower doesn't block the turret. That should be plenty of room for the turrets to move around. That's all I need. A little bit funky with the un-echelon turret layout here, but we are building a 1903, not yet a dreadnought, but still basically a dreadnought. So I think that's thematic rather than building what is basically the 5-turret super dreadnought, but in 1903, which did feel a little bit cheesy. Go increased AP, increased HC. We now have TNT 1, which is great. The flash fire chance will still probably be terrible, 45%. Even with reduced ammo, yeah, that's not much better. Might have to reduce it just to save weight, though. Because we haven't even done the armor yet. Let's see. Can we make these 0.5s? Or will everything just break then? 0.5s and slightly lengthened? You still work. You still work. You still work. Did I actually... Oh, it still works. Now these things Yeah, they're slightly blocking each other. What does it do that jumping thing? They're slightly blocking each other. But they still have pretty good arcs, so that's good enough for me. Now, I don't want to put 7-inch guns here because they look too much like the main gun turrets. Let's put that back on now. There we go. So at least the secondary guns will be mirrored. What kind of pen do we have to worry about? Pretty high pen from these guns. We might just have to assume that the enemy will not have guns of this size yet. And go for like 15-ish inch main belt protection. 6 times 2.5, that is 15. Let's see, we are at 19,833. Yeah, so we do save a little bit of weight by going with the Citadel layer rather than a raw 15 inches on the main belt. But it's not a huge amount of weight savings. And seeing as it's 1903, it's going to be a distributed armor scheme. There we go. We're going to need a little bit of deck protection. How much deck protection? 1.1 at 15,000. Now the question is, where are we gonna find these weight savings? That might be enough, but yeah, let's. Right, we gotta save 1,000 tons. We can reduce speed a little bit. That didn't save too much. 18 knots is basically the speed of our battle line. It doesn't make too much sense to have this just outsailing everything else. Anti-flood 1 can save some weight. Reducing ammunition, as I mentioned earlier, also saves a bit of weight. We can make the armor scheme a little bit less distributed. We're not that far off from having this ship where it needs to be in terms of displacement. I'd still like to have more secondary armament on it, though. Just a little something. I don't want to get rid of my double bottom. Resistance is not too bad with this setup. Yeah, we are actually very close to getting this where it should be. Two tons off. If we go with slightly lighter funnels, it's our enhanced funnel 3. There we go. No longer overweight. Also, I could just reduce the bulkheads. Probably want to do that anyway, because I do want more secondary guns on this ship. We now also have Mark III 2-inch guns. And these look kind of funky. I do like them somewhat. We are not going to be able to populate all of these casemate slots. We can just forget about that, I think. But at least these up here have decent arcs of fire. Yeah, we still actually have more weight to spare. Might re-add this anti-flood. Bumping the bulkheads down to many, that did most of the weight savings. Bump that up to 2 inches on the turret tops. Like, the arcs of fire on these side casemate mounts are pretty bad. Maybe some stern chasers wouldn't be a bad idea. And then I do every other. Yes. There it is. The not a dreadnought battleship. It's with the starboard weight offset now. What did not mirror? Well, shoot, it's too late now. I saved it. We got 5 double 2-inch guns. Yeah, this one here is missing. Why? I don't know. Sometimes things just don't mirror the way they should do. So that's that mystery solved. We're just gonna ignore it. And remember to add a 2-inch gun next time it gets a refit. The 0.3% transfers weight offset, it doesn't really matter that much. We're talking like minus 0.1, minus 0.2 kind of percentages here. So we are ignoring that one. And we're moving on to destroyers, which we can now make with our new turbine engines. Janissary. But this is not my Ottoman campaign. This will be, of course, C or Chasseur 03. Very my kind of destroyer class name. We're gonna have to make you a little bit skinnier. A little bit smaller. What, 850? What, 900? Yeah. Now it says it's overweight here. But once we add the turbines, everything is nice. 32 knots. Can we do at least 30? We can. 32 might be possible. Let's go with 30 to begin with, and then see whether or not we have to further reduce the beam. Make things work. I don't want to reduce the beam too much. Because this will be a, not just a pure torpedo boat. It's going to be a gunfighter as well. 2.5 base accuracy to... Yeah, I think this is the best one we can get. On it back there, leaving room for guns. It's going to be 2 funnels. No matter how you slice it. So... let's do the 2 tiniest one. Yeah, I do want to have a little bit of range here. Let's do -8 and -7. They can actually keep up with a task force. The 4-inch guns are much lighter than the 5s. But the difference in damage is, well, it certainly is a difference. Is it not possible to put a super firing barbette here? Put one here exactly where that gun is mounted. Just put that back there for now. No, no. No. No super firing turrets on this one. We can have them like one behind the other. That works. That also works. Now, torpedoes. Now the ship is overweight. Well, we might have to just kill the beam entirely. Yes. We've got 10 tons to spare. Will that be enough, or do we actually have to reduce speed more than what we already have? Or rather, 950. I didn't want the ship to be this long. Well, there. That's the kind of size I wanted. Fine, we're reducing bulkheads as well. And guess also the speed for now. If I reduce the draft, we're losing too much range. That's no bueno. One alternative would be going down to 4-inch guns. Which, not only are they lighter, they also, you know, lighter ammunition. I want the turrets to move around a bit. That should be enough pen to go through destroyer armor. With AP. That might still also be enough. With semi-ballistic. Yes, maybe. I guess we're dropping down the number of torpedoes. Because as I move them up to 17-inch, they, the launchers grew a little bit. And also saving weight seemed to be a little bit important. Well, armor. Two on the turrets. Don't really worry too much about the deck armor. Well, or almost there. With advanced hydraulic, we are very, very close. $912. Well, how about just using that kind of HE, which does quite a bit more damage. 175 versus 77. But there are, of course, fewer targets that we can HE penetrate. But I'm thinking transports and the like, which have 0 armor. They actually have 0.1, but that should only be for, you know, checking for overpens, that kind of purpose. So we should be able to absolutely wreck transports with these guns. I think that's a fairly decent little destroyer for 1903. More gun focused than torpedo focused, but it's got torpedoes. It can do things with the torps. Let's save it. Maybe build a couple squadrons worth. 10 million. Almost 11 million a pop. Maintenance 500,000. Well, compared to the TB99, it's not that much more pricey. Compared to the TB90, it's a lot more pricey. You can get 3 TB90s for one of these CO3s. And maybe 1.5 TB99. So like this is the go-to for cost effectiveness. Now, Rene Magritte will be and her sister ship will be built in Marseille. 18-month construction time. Because here we only have 2 battleships. 2 of the new Patrie class, Bouvet and Patrie. In Le Havre, we have 4 battleships, 2 new ones, and 2 older Pierre Henry. So they can manage. Here in Fort Bayard, we got the 2 very oldest, tiniest battleships that were supposed to be scrapped, but I'm giving them a quick refit just to make them slightly relevant in the coming war, and 2 of the new Magentas. In, let's see, Shanghai, we got 2 Pierre Henrys and 2 Justice class battleships. They should be able to manage. Now, we actually have more shipbuilding capacity. That is pretty neat. I think we'll save that for refitting these. No, wait. No. We're going to build destroyers, of course. How many? Let's build 10. And, you know, I gotta rename them myself. At least the TB99s and TB90s. The game just kind of understood the assignment and saved me the trouble. And we're gonna put these in units of 2. Now, these being a different class than torpedo boats, they're not gonna be like in mixed divisions, which is nice. So every like mainline squadron gets 1 division of 2 destroyers, and that's pretty nice. We're gonna put the last 2 in niceness. I mean. And there we have it. We are 3 years away from getting actual real dreadnoughts. We're 3 months away from getting Mark III 9-inch guns. That could be spicy. How far away are we from a war, though? Not very, it seems. $200 million? $500 million? I mean, I could afford it. But this is, after all, the name of the game. We are now at war with Britain and Russia. And now we get better torpedoes. Let's see. Politics tab. Let's find France. You know, war with Britain and Russia. Japan, Germany, Italy. Kind of friendly. United States. Not looking too good. Germany did not join the war on my side. I was kind of hoping they would take some heat off of me. They've got a pretty big navy too. Not as many ships as the British, but some very decent tonnage. I think some of these battleships are also dreadnoughts, but I can't prove that. So then, what is the first order of business? Well, these did not have time to sit around and wait for those new dreadnought battleships. You gotta move out. We are taking Gibraltar. Moving these out as well. They can join in the invasion from the other side. Are we leaving anything behind here? Yes. We're leaving one squadron of torpedo boats back here in Le Havre. So they can maybe get some of those ambush missions. Get these absolute death stack fleets that the British have. 13 battleships in one division. 8 in this one. Well, this fight is what I wanted, so I guess that's good. These ships are still being commissioned. Once they are ready, we're gonna have to also go down and capture Singapore. Meanwhile, the Shanghai Squadron. I think I'd like to take Northeast Korea. Can I open up a naval invasion this turn already? No, I cannot. Western Mediterranean. Are these not in the Western Mediterranean? No. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. I used improved relations on Germany. That's why I can't do a naval invasion this turn. Anyway, what happens here, we're going to have to see next time. So this became another building episode. But that's how it is. What do you have here, Britain? 18 armored cruisers. Absolute doom stacks. Well, we're going to have some fights, I'm pretty sure. Which will be nice, because the fights we've gotten thus far have been a little bit easy. At least the big battles. Because with Spain had already thrown her navy away, fighting the Americans. Ottomans were fighting everyone, as were the Austrians. So I just came in and cleaned up. China was also fighting a lot of other nations, but at least they had some kind of a navy left that we could fight. And Chile was like all the way over here, and we didn't really get anything other than some tiny skirmishes. But this time, yeah, it could be fun. Goodbye, and take care.